And we're back with an all-new episode of Keep It. I remain Louis Fertel, and I know why you're here, to learn about the life of a showgirl. And girl, am I going to give it to you. But before that, I have one of my very, very dear friends here, and one of the funniest people I have ever met, on stage or off. It is the delicious stand-up comedian, Brendan Scannell.
Louis, it is so good to be visiting you at work today.
Thank you so much. I've known this bastard for a decade
10
now.
years, yeah.
We're in a giant friend group, and we're both deeply Midwestern.
Mm-hmm. I would say we're kind members of the group. And your listeners might think you are some cold-hearted man, but you're very, very sweet.
I'm one of the sweetest women I've ever met.
Louis has such a gushy inside.
Oh, thank you. They knew that. They knew that. They were familiar. Brendan, before we move on, first of all, you have a play you're in this weekend at the Elysian Theater, Big Bear. Tell us about that.
This is a play. I don't know if you've ever heard of the theater.
Oh, I love a straight play. Honey, no coward. That's me. Yeah.
Well, it is a play. It's called Big Bear. It's original. It's new. It's running one weekend, and you can get tickets in my Instagram bio. It's written by Patrick McDonald. Great cast. Mm-hmm. Kind of a young-ish group of performers. It's sort of like the show Friends, but me in it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do you identify with any of the friends in particular, just in your day-to-day life?
The older I get, the more I realize that like the true engine of Friends is Ross. And as a kid, you're like, Ross is annoying. And the older you get, you're like, God, all my friends are fucking Ross. So I like Ross a lot.
You believe in the patriarchy. And also, no, honestly, he does bring a specific kind of humanity. It sort of can seem samey over time, but it also is hilarious.
Oh, he's so funny. Great physical comedian. Listen, is this just a podcast about the show Friends?
Yes, please. God, settle in.
Coming out of the gate so basic.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know neither of our styles. Well, by the way, if you thought that was basic, wait till you hear what we're talking about today. We're going to get into Taylor Swift. We also have an interview with Jessie Williams coming up, Grey's Anatomy vet. He's in a new show that is extremely decadent. We'll talk more about that. But also, something that is a signature Brendan Scannell attribute is that you are a Survivor stan.
Oh, big time. And actually, as we famously played in a game of Friends Survivor and made it to Final Tribal.
This is something that I don't think we have ever really discussed on the show, how gay men will take reality show concepts and then play them themselves because we want to experience the viciousness among our own literal friends.
To be betrayed by your friend and then have to hang out with them for the rest of the night is really painful. My main memory is that like we obviously aligned with each other very quickly, and my boyfriend was also playing, so it did have an unfair advantage. But then when we made it to Final Tribal, we're sitting there and I'm like making overtures, telling my friends how much I care about them. And you, Challenge Beast, literally went, I'm the one who knew Diane Ladd.
Yeah. And by the way, I did.
You did.
There was a challenge in which you had to win with trivia, like at the end of a physical challenge. And he said who was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in 90 and 91. And I sat there like Alan Turing in The Imitation Game. And I was like, Diane Ladd, and I won that challenge. And by the way, it must be said, Brendan ended up winning the whole Survivor thing, even though I had, these incredible insights.
Oh, Challenge Beast. I think I had played the social game a little bit stronger.
I literally called myself a villain immediately.
Yes. I think it was also like we were coming out of COVID socially. Everyone was really, I would say, deranged.
It was one of the tensest social situations I've ever been a part of. And of course, we have a new season of Survivor upon us. There are no members of the Crooked Media staff in the show this year that I can root for or against. I'm not going to say what happened, but could you entice me into this season?
Well, we're only 2 episodes in, and this is season 49, so it's the season right before season 50 where everyone's going to come back. So it's kind of like your first chance to jump in with your last chance to jump in with like an all-new cast before they start bringing people back, probably through like the 50s and 60s. And it's a good cast. We're just starting to get to know them. There's like a gay guy with a really maniacal laugh, which I always laugh.
It's not Guy Branum. Okay.
It's not Guy. I love Guy's laugh. Whenever I'm doing a set and Guy's in the audience and I'm not hearing the laugh, I am aware of that.
It's literally like some part of the building just shut off.
There's this one guy on the show who sort of looks like he's in the Smashing Machine and looks like his steroids have like like gay guys who have stopped doing steroids.
Oh,
and their
sure.
body
They still got the extended belly, but they're
still
ripped.
got the belly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he seems really invested in having a bromance. Like he's just invented the word bromance. He's like, it's a bromance. It's a bromance. And he's very confident. And I love watching a very confident player fall from grace. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I also love when you can tell what got someone on the show. Like he definitely said the word bromance 20 times during his audition.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to stick with it.
Well, we have a much better casting situation recently. There were a couple seasons where people were like, I'm actually going to pull myself out of the game, and I'm so proud of getting on the show and doing this, and I'm just proud of myself. And I'm like, keep on the show.
No, what is that?
What is that? What in the loserdom? You're quitting the show? There's $1 million on the line.
No. Also, right. Also, it's like you've done none of the mental homework of what it would take to be there, and you're just like immediately taking yourself out. No,
Yeah.
it's saddening. By the way, casting should be able to suss that out.
Yeah. I feel like as friend groups, you know what you should organize for us? The Mole.
I love the mole.
You do love the
mole.
mole.
Takes a lot of preparation because you have to come up with games and clues about who the mole is. And the mole has to commit to not being found out
Right.
while also trying to sabotage the games. That is an extremely hard job.
It's a hard job. And I think that I would be a good mole.
Oh, you would be amazing. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would.
You'd
I
be
think,
a horrible mole.
Well,
I'm
let me tell
sorry.
you this. I think I would garner suspicion immediately. And for that reason, I think I could be a good mole because then I would deflect it,
Oh, that's true.
you know?
Because you also kind of want to figure out who the mole is and then keep them around.
Correct.
Sort of like in the traders, a way to play the game is to figure out who the traders are and then stay close to them so they don't eliminate you.
Right. Well, the traders is the weird case of you actually have no stake in getting rid of them, really. Like you want them to stick around because you want to know who they are so you can vote for them at the end.
Right. Because
You know?
they're always going to get rid of somebody every night in
Correct.
the turret. So you kind of just want them to still like you.
It's kind of a broken game in that way. They should figure out a way where like you're actually up against the people who are voting you out, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway.
I think competition's great. It's great to be a little toxically competitive. I love sports.
Yeah. No, you do. You will
do.
watch basketball.
I love sports, and I love athletes being like, I'm the fucking best. And
Yeah.
I think we need more of that.
That's why I like tennis because
Oh, I love
it's
tennis.
all persona. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like they're actively doing the persona on the court and you can see their full face when they're doing it.
Have you ever read Andre Agassi's book?
No.
Open? Oh, it's
I should-
so good.
And he's the one who had the thing for a time with
Brooke Shields.
Yes, of course.
Not to bring it back to Friends, but when Brooke Shields was on Friends and she kisses Matt LeBlanc in an episode, Andre Agassi in the audience, studio audience, walked out.
Wow.
He said, I couldn't. And he goes, I walked right out of the studio, got in my car, and drove back to Las Vegas.
Insane.
Woo!
Also, it's like it's Friends and she's Brooke Shields. She's going to kiss one of the friends.
Woo! No, drama. He was also doing meth. It's a great story.
Wow.
And now he's coaching the Lever Cup. Love you, Andre. If you're listening, you're not.
Wow. I wonder how he handled Suddenly Susan, which, by the way, sometimes I still rewatch.
I think he does talk about Suddenly Susan. He also became really good. He's writing. I'm sure he's not writing. This is how people write books.
Yeah. You're picturing him like Hemingway, by the way, at the
Exactly.
typewriter? Okay.
And he's like, and then I went to a little show a friend brought me to, and he brought me backstage, and I met my new best friend, Barbara Streisand.
Right. That's what I was going to bring up. His
Yeah.
Barbara quotient.
They are like two gal pals. Yeah.
They are
great.
that's always been a very mysterious pairing to me. I also just love age differences where the woman is older, where like Dinah Shore, Burt Reynolds. I love that shit.
I love that too.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs like a prestige woman in their life to just help them through it.
Did you see there was a movie a few years ago called Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, and it's Annette Bening as this actress, Gloria Graham, and then Jamie Bell plays the son of her husband who they have an affair.
Ooh, I like that.
It's kind of a creepy story, but she is amazing in it, and he is one of those people. He's in the category of should have been nominated for an Oscar at some point, and it hasn't happened.
Jamie
yet.
Bell?
Yes.
Billy Elliot. I'm a poof.
That's him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so good. His best performance.
And now he's with Kate Mara, who is herself a little poof. Even littler.
Those Mara girls are tiny.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love that. Here they are in this plant. One plant, one plant.
That's right. Okay, as we stated earlier, we will be talking about the new Taylor Swift album, The Life of a Showgirl, today. I have to say, it is deeply funny that Brendan is here to do this because there was a moment in time when the album Folklore came out and our friends were obsessed with it, where we could not stop texting about how we didn't get it.
The older I get, I'm more trying to like miss mass culture. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to stay uninformed. And I will say that if I wasn't doing this podcast, I probably would not have listened to this album. But that's mostly because I'm doing a lot of like listening to audiobooks about shipwrecks right now.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're turning into somebody's 60-something father.
Oh, I am obsessed with I think because America's kind of a shipwreck, and in shipwrecks, sometimes people survive, and I'm trying to figure out what the secret is.
Wow, unsinkable Brendan Scannell. As played by Kathy Bates.
Oh, of course.
Yes. So we will get into the Taylor Swift album. And then, of course, we have an interview with Jessie Williams coming up later. But in the meantime, that's Keep It. We'll see you after the break. Keep It is brought to you by Reproductive Freedom for All's podcast, My Body, My Pod. Reproductive freedom is under attack like never before. We're at a breaking point and the stakes are higher than ever. That's why you have to check out My Body, My Pod, a new podcast with Mini Timmaraju, president and CEO of Reproductive Freedom for All and a leading voice in the fight for abortion rights. Through honest interviews and immersive storytelling, they're breaking through the noise to share what's really happening in the fight for reproductive freedom. If you want to be a part of the nationwide fight for abortion rights, this show is for you. As a listener, you'll get to hear from leaders and changemakers who share wisdom from the front lines, stories of the challenges folks are enduring across the country, and a vision for the future we're determined to win. The fight for reproductive freedom has never been more urgent, and it's never been more important. Check out My Body, My Pod with Mini Timmaraju on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Keep It is brought to you by Soul. My friends and I love a good night out, but what they don't love is being out of commission the next day. Luckily, we found a great alternative, Soul's out-of-office gummies, which give you that light, happy buzz without the hangover or groggy next morning. Soul is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. With 5 different strengths, you can tailor the dose to fit your vibe, from a gentle 1.5 milligram dose to their newest 15 milligram gummy for a more elevated, if you will, experience. And if you like their out-of-office gummies, try the new out-of-office beverage, a refreshing alcohol-free alternative that's perfect for winding down on the couch or socializing with friends. With wellness at the forefront, you can feel good about what you're putting in your body. All of Soul's products are made from organically farmed, USA-grown hemp and are vegan, gluten-free, low in sugar, and federally legal. Bring on the good vibes and treat yourself to Soul today. Right now, Soul is offering our audience 30% off your entire order. Go to getsoul.com and use the code KEEPIT. That's getsoul.com, promo code KEEPIT for 30% off. After months of waiting, Taylor Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, is finally here. Now, I often get a lot of heat for my thoughts on Taylor, but Brendan, you're also not a Swiftie. Did you go into this album with an open mind and heart, or had you already turned against her?
I went into this album with such an open heart.
Oh,
as
yeah.
I try to approach the world. And I hadn't read any reviews, and I gave it a listen yesterday as I was making juice in my juicer. And yeah, I made it all the way through, and I'm so happy for her from afar. Very far.
And getting farther.
Right, getting further. I do feel like some of the music would work better. The stuff about Travis, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about like an artist, us knowing so much about their personal life and so much being read in between the lines? Sometimes it makes me feel further away from the music because I'm just thinking about the media around it. Like I was trying to picture each song about Travis as her singing about Santa.
Okay. Right. That's a natural instinct.
Well, some of it does sound like Christmas music.
Yeah.
And you're like, if this music had lyrics about Santa, then it would be better for me.
Yeah. Well, I do feel like a lot of the time she's responding to an idea about her or a narrative about her as opposed to just telling you what she thinks. Like, I don't think it really gives you insight into their relationship.
No, it does feel like she's trying to build herself up. This is what athletes do. They take micro slights and they turn them into massive slights.
Yes.
And it's a way to motivate you on the field to vanquish your opponents. But music is different. And so when she's trying to attack people. That said, I love Reputation.
Interesting. I did not know this about you.
Oh my God, Reputation's so good.
That's the album where she revealed herself to be a perturbed white rapper.
It's the one where she was just like, I'm going to be, and it also came out right around the Trump administration, so it was very out of touch in terms of like the zeitgeist. But in retrospect, when you look back at it, you're like, Reputation's great.
Yeah.
It's kind of pissed off. And I like pissed off music. This music, I do feel like some of it does resonate with me and you, eldest daughter. That's how I feel. Father figure, you to me.
Dang. Right. That's our entire dynamic right there. Well, it's interesting you bring up Reputation because I think the reason this album has not been received that warmly by fans or critics, I think it's her lowest Pitchfork rating so far. She got like a 5.9 on it, is that people expected a successful stylistic shift like she did with Reputation, like she did with Folklore, for example, because the title, The Life of a Showgirl, says whiz bang, right? You call an album Life of a Showgirl, I want Cheetah Rivera to fly out of the album sleeve when I open it.
Has anyone ever said whiz bang?
Oh, no. I live in the 1920s. Did I not mention that?
Oh, gee. Oh.
The bee's knees. And what they actually got was an album they kind of have already heard from Taylor Swift, but not as exciting. Right. You know, like a lot of the things she does on this album, the romanticness of it, the diss track, the callback to literature you have only read in the first half of high school, which is what she remembers. I feel like it all is very familiar to her fans. But honestly, I could go through all the things about Taylor Swift as a songwriter that I find a little annoying or just not, quote unquote, for me. But I think all those things are not relevant. The reason this album does not work as well is because the production is boring. I feel like this is music that wants to have 1989 like turbos underneath it, like propelling it along, making them into big pop songs. And instead what you get is kind of pedestrian pace music. Even like the lead single, The Fate of Ophelia, which has a fabulous video, by the way, like really high concept, expensive looking, and all the showgirl regalia you actually want. It just feels mid-tempo. Like it kind of could belong to anybody, not particularly even her. And it needs more kind of angst and drive. And I want to be clear about her. She does want to have drama in her songs. Like when you call a song Father Figure, or when you have this like Actually Romantic, this diss track that's allegedly aimed at Charlie XCX, she wants to like amp it up. She wants it to be like a throwdown. And instead, it's like Max Martin and Shellback, the producers on this album who she's worked with before, just opted to do something a little less attention grabby, which is crazy when the album is showgirl themed.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think lyrically, you know, I have depression, so I am looking always like for those like Lana Del Rey type lyrics that are like, I'm sucking dick by the docks and it felt good, but at least, and I feel empty, but at least I feel something for once. As the hits my throat. Can I say that?
That's beautiful. That? Yes.
That's sort of like loose Lana lyricism.
And a fortune cookie I got last week.
and Taylor Swift just, it's ultimately her audience is younger girls. And so it can't really capture that like angst in that way for me.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know like would you walk into the river with rocks in your pockets? And I don't think she'll ever reach that level of clinical depression. So she just doesn't resonate with me on like a wave on like a vibratory wavelength. So if the music isn't like catching or grabbing, or like she's trying something completely new, I'm like, oh, well, I'll wait for the next one where she is trying something completely new, or where she's doing what she does really well at her top level, you know?
Well, it makes sense to me that you prefer Reputation then, because I think of a lot of what she does here and in general, and something that I don't particularly vibe with, is that she is always playing up a kind of fairy tale. Like, it's, you know, it's like, it's about a kind of bliss. Even the way she sings, it's like a cooing storybook kind of vibe, which is different from, I think you and I are both huge fans of Amy Mann, where it's like the vibe is sardonic but straightforward, you know? And I feel like when somebody is doing all of this like breathy, I don't want to say infantilizing, but just kind of fairy tale oriented vibing, it doesn't really feel like she's talking to fellow peers. It feels like it's kind of meant for people younger than her. And she is the master of that sometime. I still think one of her best songs is 15, which is from Fearless, and talks to you about being 15 when she was like 20. Brilliant.
Even the song, it's like, Love Story?
Yeah.
Marry me, Juliet, never wanna be alone. That song's great.
Yeah.
And it feels like that Taylor who wrote that was really connected to that like teen girl who it was about. But now I'm like, girl, you're in like your mid-30s. Like you're writing a song that's specifically about prom, and then the guy you're asking died. It's very leader of the pack.
Yeah. Do not bring up the Shangri-Las right now.
Vroom, vroom. I'm listening to it and I'm like, she's not gonna kill this guy, is she? She's not gonna. And I'm like, the leader of the pack.
That's also kind of a weird song. This is Ruin the Friendship. By the way, that's my favorite lyric on the album is always ruin the friendship. Like that, okay, that's an insight. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you have a crush on somebody and you're worried you're walking on eggshells with them. And she's like, it's not worth it if you don't go for it. That
Ruin
to
the
me,
friendship.
I like. Yeah.
My first love of my life was my friend, and then we hooked up and it ruined the friendship. But we fell in love. I love that idea. Shouts out.
No, but like that straightforwardness I love. And I feel like a lot of her writing is now based in these kind of, I'm going to call them attempts at wordplay or like twisting a cliche, which can work. Amy Mann does a lot of that, but it's layered. She does that so many times in a row where she gets caught up in the wordplay and gets away from any actual sentiment. Like, I think the writing on Fearless is better than her writing from the past 5 years because it's just straightforward and, letting the feeling of the music and the directness of the lyrics gel together. Yeah. Whereas here, it's like you're supposed to kind of be, she's a little too thesaurus.com. Too many adjectives rhyming, too much car rhymes with bar, rhymes with star, that like...
she can be a great lyricist. I mean, I typically on one of her, each of her albums, there will be like 2 songs where I'm like, ooh, I love that album. And my boyfriend is a hater, he's like, Beyonce's better than Taylor. That's
he does love Beyonce.
Impression of my boyfriend. And I just don't have that much skin in the game. And so there's usually 2 songs. Like, I love the song Dress. Like I bought this dress to take off. I just brought it to take off in front of you. Like, I'm like, ooh, I love that. Sexy. And yeah, I'm maybe on another listen, I'll find a song that I resonate with more. I listened to it because I'm doing this podcast. I mostly try to steer clear of culture in general.
Right. Thank you for that. Well, also, it's like, I think going back to the idea that this is something that her fans have heard before, and maybe a little bit more supercharged in other formats. I do feel like things that just seem familiar to fans upon first listen, once she has a couple more albums behind her belt, this I think will sit better because it's not like it's offensive really. It's pleasant to listen to.
No.
If we're comparing it to another album this year that was not well received, I don't know if you're familiar with the Katy Perry album 143, which it came out.
She had an album come out.
That's exactly the sentiment everybody had. The problem with that album was it felt like it could have been written by anybody. Like it didn't have any of Katie's signature, whatever she brings.
And it was written by Dr. Luke, right?
There's a lot of that going on too. There's one good song on it, Lifetimes, great song. But
I like Lifetimes.
Yes.
Lifetimes.
That's the one.
That's it, right?
Yes. That was such a Drew Droege comic move.
Drew Droege in a play in New York. Go see it.
It sounds like it's amazing. But the problem with that album was if it felt like you typed pop album into ChatGPT and just whatever came out. On this album, I almost feel like this hits worse for fans because not only were they expecting a stylistic shift from where she's been before, but it's like you can tell she wrote it, but it feels almost like a parody of what she would write. Like the song where she complains about meme culture and being online. It's like it still feels like the really popular girl claiming that someone somewhere doesn't like what she does. And it's like, wouldn't it be weird if everyone liked you? That would be bizarre.
Are you even following people on Instagram?
Right.
Like, I'm not sure what's going on with Taylor's Instagram, but I imagine it's one of those like following zeros.
Yes.
So it's like, what are you seeing?
Yeah.
No. Like, are you seeing like reposts that are like, get ICE out of Chicago? Like, are you seeing what we're seeing? Are you seeing the things that matter? Or are you only seeing stuff about yourself?
And I think you're now indicating what I think is the reason it's really hard for me to get into her as a phenomenon. She's interested in so little. It's always about being in a romantic relationship, being the victim in a relationship, or feeling like the target of haters. And that's kind of it.
Mm.
You know, it's like there's never just like, here's an album where I'm really into a character study of somebody who has nothing to do with me.
Or even like if she read a book about a shipwreck.
Right, exactly.
What if she was just like, I'm going to write all about the shipwreck that I read about? That'd be an interesting departure.
Right.
There's too much money on the line. Here's the thing is for someone like her who is an employer of probably like thousands of people and has a certain lifestyle she's looking to continue to lead and generationally, there's just too much money on the line to do something risky, it feels like. Although I guess Folklore and Evermore were like sort of like she like ate Sufjan Stevens for lunch.
Yes, and also she deserves credit for nobody expected those albums to come out.
Nobody expected them.
You know, so that is pretty rad. And by the way, I also like whenever Taylor Swift does anything or an album's about to come out, you hear a flurry of people being like, well, whatever she does, everybody has to have an opinion. I like that everybody has to have an opinion about one female singer-songwriter.
Oh,
that has never been the case ever.
Oh,
sure. You know what I mean? Like even like Alanis Morissette, she had her gigantic moment when she exploded and then sort of disappeared into Canadiana and we let her.
Yeah, 2 great albums.
Yes, I love Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie, yes. But like the idea that it's not just that you have an opinion about her the way you once would be forced to have an opinion about Madonna, where people would just look at a tabloid rack and scream slut or whatever the common opinion
you were
was.
Screaming?
No.
See, that's what Lewis screams at me.
Yeah. To get your attention because you're asleep.
2015, I'm walking through West Hollywood and I just hear slut. And that's how we met.
That's right. You're like, my father?
Mother?
Whereas with her, it's like not only does everybody have to have an opinion, it kind of means you have to listen to the music. So I'm supportive of that. And like if that's the only female artist certain people hear an entire year, like that's an extremely rad accomplishment, I think. I mean, I'm not saying they're valuable opinions these people will have, but
yeah. What is your favorite album of this year so far?
This year. Oh God, I'm trying to. I do love the new Jade album. Top to bottom, really good. And I love the new Doja Cat album, which just came out last week too.
I gotta listen to that.
She was just on SNL and killed it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that too. I'm telling you, I mostly sit in my house and look at my plants. I'm a great co-host of a culture podcast.
Yeah. Well, we can just investigate what you thought of what your plants were saying to you, you know.
You're so fucking sexy. I love ya.
Oh, they're horny.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't understand.
Feed me.
Yeah. Okay, now, so you say Reputation is your favorite Taylor Swift album.
I think so, yeah.
If I had to pick my 5 favorite Taylor Swift albums, okay, I'm going to go number 1 for me is 1989.
Oh, so good.
I remember when that album occurred. First of all, that's over a decade ago, and that was already a time when you had to have an opinion about Taylor
Blank
Swift.
Space, right?
Yes.
Honestly, her best music video for me, too.
I think so. And also, Taylor at her funniest, which I think is a crucial problem she has. Like, I think a lot of these songs about heartbreak, etc., would be great if they had one turn of phrase that was hilarious. Then I'd be like, oh, that's my girl. But instead, it's like just dubious wordplay. But anyway, 1989, the sonics of it, the fact that it really isn't throwback at all. It was very of the moment music, I think, but top to bottom, not a word wasted. You know, it's not a verbose album. It's just perfect hooks and sentiments that you remember thereafter. And I love how the album ends. I love the song Clean.
Oh, I love Clean.
Yeah. Great song.
Clean!
You know all the hits.
I've never heard any song ever. I'm just pretending.
Yeah. My second favorite album is Fearless because, as we said, it's an album of innocence and embarking on romance, but it's so well expressed. It's like the ultimate album of innocence, I think, especially now compared to the rest of the albums she gave us.
I was probably in high school when that came out, and you were, what, 43?
That's 44? Right. Ready to die.
You had just gotten divorced.
Yes, right. For the 3rd time. I was like, I'm getting my realtor's license. I'm going to figure this out. My 3rd favorite is Red because she meshes pop stylings with singer-songwriter stylings. That's a universe in which I live.
Red.
Thereafter, I would go with Folklore because she pulled off the stylistic shift. And then my 5th favorite, I will say Reputation, because you're right. It's a rowdy album, and it's the only time she was ever rowdy.
It's rowdy. I also was at the VMAs that she performed that year that Katy Perry hosted.
Yeah.
Love you, Katy. And yeah, it was great. She was dancing.
Oh yeah, I just watched footage of her performing.
Look what you made me do.
Oh, Shake It Off on Jimmy Kimmel, which is one of my least favorite songs of hers, given the fact that it's on 1989.
1989.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's a song that doesn't belong on that album, which is very strange.
What's Me on? Me!
Lover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another transition album of hers. I would compare Life of a Showgirl to that, where it's like, oh, here's like a familiar sound for you that sort of feels like a comma between albums.
B-sides.
If you will.
You got to release something every year or two. There's so much money on the line. So just release the songs that you wrote that didn't go on the first album. That's kind of what this one feels like to me.
Yeah. I also feel like every experienced like veteran artist has albums like that, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm obsessed with PJ Harvey. I don't find the album Her as gratifying as any of her other albums.
And you're the first person to say that in the year 2025.
I have, shall we say, Gen X angst.
Of course.
You know. But again, I will say about this album, when I first listened to it, I thought it was unlistenably boring. The second, third, and fourth listens, I was singing along with some of the songs, and I think the Fate of Ophelia, and again, she has only heard of ever 5 books.
Heard of Ophelia.
Yes, yeah. Right. It felt like her grasp on the story was limited.
She's in water.
Yes, it's about water. Yes,
right.
and there's men. All right, that's our take on Taylor Swift for now. Jump in the comments in case you're a Taylor Swift fan who needs to be instructed to go into the comments. I doubt that's the case. We'll be right back with more Keep It, but before that, some quick housekeeping. The whole season of Shadow Kingdom: Coal Survivor is out now. It's set in 1972. The United Mine Workers weren't just voting for new leadership, they were voting to end Tony Boyle's corrupt reign as head of one of the most powerful labor unions in the country, months before he'd be charged with ordering the murder of his rival, Jock Yablonsky, and his family. Everything was on the line. This is the story of how Tony Boyle was ousted by young working-class organizers who fought like their lives depended on it because they did. Through guerrilla tactics, underground newsletters, and late-night meetings, they built a labor revolution that ended with Tony in handcuffs. With exclusive reel-to-reel tapes, original reporting, and voices you've never heard before, Shadow Kingdom is the story of rebellion, revenge, and taking back power from the inside. It's a must-listen series. You can binge the full season of Shadow Kingdom: Coal Survivor wherever you get your podcasts. All right, when we're back, my conversation with Jessie Williams. Keep It is brought to you by Acorns. What is my greatest money mistake? I believe it is trying to understand money at all. I feel bad about myself when I try to function in a capitalistic society. Not because I'm above it, it's that I'm not smart enough to understand it. And so I can't go back in time to fix who I am. But moving forward, I can take the intricacies of money management out of my hands with Acorns. Acorns is the financial wellness app that helps you invest for your future, save for tomorrow, and spend smarter today. Acorns makes it easy to start doing more with your money. In fact, you can start automatically investing with just your spare change. Plus, Acorns can support your money goals in life, like a new car, a first home, investing for your kids, saving up for retirement, and so much more. I love Acorns because it does the thinking for me. It takes thinking out of my life for me. It says, you've got some extra money, we can make some extra money. And it's as simple as that. Sign up now with Acorns and it'll boost your account with a $5 bonus investment. Join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/keepit or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/keepit. Keep It is brought to you by Factor. Fall always feels like a reset. Between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. And in fact, I refuse to find the time at all. That's why I love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets. With Factor, you can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, and at no extra cost. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. I have eaten Factor for years. I'm going to eat it today, and I'm in New York. That seems crazy, right? I eat Factor every single week. There are some weeks when I don't even make specific preferences about the meals, and I know that when they show up, they'll be delicious anyway. So it's as random or as specific as you want your meals to be. Eat smart at factormeals.com/keepit50off and use code KEEPIT50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code KEEPIT50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year.
Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
Today's guest is the ultimate leading man among men. You know him from Grey's Anatomy, of course, but also Only Murders in the Building and his Tony-nominated work in Broadway's Take Me Out. Now he's shipping his talents to the Amalfi Coast, and oh my God, is it scenic, in Prime Video's new series, Hotel Costiera. Please welcome to Keep It, it's Jessie Williams.
Thank you.
Watching this show, I mean, you're so taken, first of all, with the environs before you get into the actual intrigue and the overarching mystery and the mini mysteries on this show. What are the perks and also the disadvantages of filming in such a scenic location? Like, are you up against anything specific when you're in such a beautiful place filming a show?
Well, there's two, one practical and one kind of more maybe spiritual. There's first of all, it looks like this, it is this grand, beautiful place, but it's actually one road in, one road out. It's a 10 in. If there's two cars, two trucks facing each other, one's got to back up. Like you getting things in and out. There's easily a lot of kind of obstructions and roadblocks, figuratively and literally, that can slow production down, et cetera, whatever. That's less interesting. One thing though, as somebody who lives now in Los Angeles, no longer New York, we are 9 hours ahead in the Amalfi Coast. So a hardship, to mangle the term, is that when I'm awake, they're asleep. When they're asleep, I'm awake. You're totally detached from, I would have to set my alarm at 3 a.m. to wake up and speak to my kids after school. You're kind of all over the place. As soon as you're going to sleep, LA is waking up and New York's waking up and you're firing off emails and blah, blah, blah. So it's really messes with your sleep. But that's also the gift, is that I could really be present there. On my work day, my phone's not blowing up because everybody's asleep. Once I go to work, I really am present on that coast, and especially as a producer, because I'm involved in every aspect of the show. So I've got irons in the fire, and I'm working, and I'm really here. My phone, I don't have to knock this email out. I don't have to get back to this person. I have my space, and I really came to value that. I'm somebody who likes to be really present on set. I don't like guests on set. I don't like friends or family or loved ones there. I like to be with you when I'm working, and then home when I'm home.
Also, you're the only American actor on this show, too.
That's true.
Which I assume contributed to the sort of escapism that viewers enjoy from the show. But are there any? Does that also make it difficult for you, being the only American actor on the show?
You said two things that I don't know that I've really thought about in that way before. Yes, I'm the only American. And I guess that does contribute to the escapism, because it feels more authentic. You really are somewhere else, and the viewer, American viewers, are kind of aligned with me as a fish out of water, so to speak. I don't know, man. I think that it actually was great. I wasn't, our director, our showrunner, Adam Bernstein of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Fargo, genius, was there, and he speaks Italian. Our entire crew is Italian. This is entirely Italian production. So I had somebody in terms of cultural references and asides, but I think it really contributed to the character work. If I had 5 buddies from Chicago and Detroit and we're visiting, I'd feel more like we just packed up our show and brought it somewhere else instead of really being embedded, because I really was embedded. I think it contributed to the work I was able to do and just kind of grounding everything.
Also, I was reading your green flags for what makes you choose a part. And one of them was that you like choosing things you've never really done before. There's so much going on here that I don't think I've ever seen you do before. But what were the specific things about this project that made you say, not only can I lock into this, but it will activate me and I'll be good at the part?
To be honest, I think coming out of, I was on a show for a decade, which was really pretty much all the acting I've done. I guess didn't start acting till I was almost 30 years old. I was a public school teacher, for God's sake. And then I got on this monster show, and that show shoots 10 months a year. So I was really only doing that show. So while I got a ton of valuable hours of work, it was one way. So since then, I've been trying to just do different things. And in this case, I want to do some action. I want to whip a speedboat and drive a motorcycle and kick some guys in the face and live out my 12-year-old fantasy of, from action movies. I want to do comedy. I love comedy. It's who I am. It's what I grew up on. It's what inspires me. It's so getting to be able to do comedy and kind of be in funny situations and action were the two things that were kind of on my board, that I romanticized about, but I wanted to actually do and to be able to kind of design. And also, I think there was a little something about, we have two great British actors on the show. I grew up with a lot of British comedy, Monty Python and such. So like this a comedic styling and timing from doing it with guys from people from other countries was like an interesting workshop. I think those were primarily the two, but also it was getting the hell out of the United States for a little bit. I thought that was important. I thought it's a big world out there. What we do is a global thing. I think I learned a lot of that from Grey's. It's a global, top 5 show in like 200 territories still. There's an interesting world out there, and there's a wider audience to serve. And I think that I started to see that America's appetite for subtitles and different cultures was finally cracking open with some other shows, Money Heist and Griselda and Squid Game and stuff. Like, okay, Americans will read a little bit and they can see something outside of their environment. So those were all factors, I think, that made me go, what, let's try this. And I got to learn Italian, which was a little scary.
Well, also, I know people who just watch English shows with subtitles now. Like, truly, like, reading has accidentally happened on screens to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know what that shift is or why.
Neither
Maybe
do I. My
TikTok's a part
daughter
of it.
does
I have
that
no
now.
idea.
My daughter, who's in 7th grade, is like, I wanted subtitles. But I'm not mad that you're reading, but I also, as a performer, I want you to watch the performance.
Yeah.
Like, look up here, watch what they're doing. It's the only time I'm ever conflicted about my child reading.
Yeah. No, I'm like, this is good, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, we had the actress Danielle Deadwyler on here.
Oh,
recently.
she's an incredible actor.
No, she's I called her a psycho to her face. She's like, something is wrong with how talented she is. And she talked about, she's obviously an incredible cerebral, intense actor.
Yeah.
But she talked about taking that movie Carry On. She goes, I wanted to drive that car. And I'm like, it's interesting to me that somebody who is that intense and kind of theatrical and cerebral an actor still wants the action component. What is it about that you wanted?
You know what? I think part of it is all actors have to suffer through auditions. Auditions suck. And one of the reasons auditions are hard is because they're fake. I'm in a plain room pretending to be in some environment and responding to that environment. And you kind of feel like you're on a candid camera show, and it's that falseness when you can replace it by really being in the car with the wind really in your hair and the person really there. It just allows you to use your full self. And so something that is physical and jostling and that requires your attention, it gives you business as a kind of an actor term. I have business to do. I'm talking to you, but I'm also making a sandwich. It grounds it. So physicality, whether it's actual action like fighting, which requires choreography and other things. I think the actor's brain is like 4 or 5 brains at a time, where I'm having an internal monologue. I'm thinking about my mom. I'm thinking about picking up my kids from school. I'm talking to you. Do I have the lines right? Should I start over in the audition? Did I mess that up? Is she paying attention? There's a lot going on. So if we can have tactile things to engage with, I think for some of us, everybody's process is different. That just is fun, but also what we do is we play. It's an adventure. I might as well do something different than I do normally.
Totally. No, I imagine that Grey's Anatomy was the holy grail for having business to do. Like when you're on set, like you're never not holding a tube or like reaching for something or running towards something. My God.
And speaking in a different kind of foreign language. It's one thing to memorize 4 pages of words. It's another thing to do it with words you have never heard or said before in your life that are all polysyllabic, 3 to 6 syllables. Like that was a real boot camp. You're absolutely right about that.
I also learned that you learned about directing on the set of that show, specifically through the tutelage of Chandra Wilson and Debbie Allen, which to me sounds like the dream. Like two of my favorite people, period. There's a viral clip going around now of Debbie Allen and Phylicia Rashad exchanging some words at the beginning of an interview where they are being so saucy with each other in a friendly, but like, well, those ladies are dishing it kind of way. So I'm interested what you got from those two people as mentors.
Yeah, those sisters. I don't know that I can think of 2 more powerful siblings. Yeah, Chandra Wilson, I think, was first in my life, and kind of letting me shadow her literally, and just sharing her wisdom, imparting her wisdom, challenging me as a director. I shied away, frankly, I was given the opportunity to direct a little bit earlier on that show, and it didn't appeal to me because it didn't feel like a director's medium. That show is a machine that goes on its own. They know what they're doing. I kind of felt like a director is just going to visit and try not to fuck it up, and some changes were made, and Chandra had a really interesting take, and that was really helpful. And then Debbie came on as kind of our directing producer, like our on the ground, and she added a lot more creative freedom to the experience. And that opened it up for me. Both of them continue to be. I just saw them not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. They have a huge place in my heart as mentors, and as friends, and as artists, for sure.
Your turn in Take Me Out, your Tony-nominated turn, your own co-star won the Tony for that, Jessie Tyler Ferguson, a play written by Richard Greenberg, a baseball play. I think, first of all, one of the few sports plays that has stood the test of time. But what are your memories from being in that fabulously received show?
It's funny timing. I just landed back from New York at about 1 a.m. from Richard Greenberg's funeral.
Oh.
In New York. So rejoined with the cast, obviously not ideal circumstances, but it was my first time seeing a lot of my buddies in the flesh in a while. In the flesh, nice choice of words there.
Right. But, people know the lore. Yes,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's leave it. Yeah. I love. I think you say my company is the theater term. My partners there. Really transformative experience in my life. I had never done theater before.
Right. Yeah.
So that was my school and graduate school, and the material is so incredible. It's an incredible play. I encourage anybody just to read it. It's really dense and poignant. You can actually go to Lincoln Center if you're ever in New York, in their library. They put us in the National Archives there, so you can actually watch the play. It's a transformative experience, and I miss it. I miss being there. It's incredibly grueling. It's brutal. It's really exhausting work, but so damn thrilling. And it feels like a different level of sport than film and TV. And I think that's why theater actors hold it in such high regard. And I was really honored to be welcomed into that community.
You also have been a part of 2 ensembles that are so stacked with legends. I can only wonder what being in the company of these people congregated together for them is like. One is Only Murders in the Building, of course, which is legendsonly.com. And then also Lee Daniels, the butler, which every single person in that movie is the most accomplished actor of all time, were those 2 experiences at all similar based on just the sheer kind of company you kept?
Yeah, it's a deep cut. That's a good reference. I think a difference would be, and this is true a lot in films, maybe more so than TV. The Butler, all these incredible actors are in it, but I didn't necessarily work with or even see a good percentage of them, right? And I can work with Forrest Whitaker, and Coleman Domingo had his part in it before he took over the world, and they're just incredible actors. But I didn't work with most of them. Only Murders, I really hit a great season. I got Meryl Streep, Paul Rudd, and I grew up, Steve Martin and Martin Short were everything. But I was on set with them. I got to sit in holding with them and just talk shit and just hang out and hear their stories. I actually met Steve and Marty for the first time because they came to take me out before we ever shot a frame. They came to take me out and then took me to dinner. So I got to sit with them at dinner, and I don't know where I am. And they're just so damn funny without trying to be. And I just couldn't, I felt like I was in a dream. That I had, you laugh so hard, the muscles in the back of your head start to hurt. That was my experience on set with those guys. Just doing off-camera work with Martin Short, just watching him, I was cheesing like a kid who just met Mickey Mouse. It was really wild. I kind of had a theater-themed year. I finished that year on Broadway, went right into Only Murders in the Building in New York while still doing the play. I was doing both for a time. There was some overlap. Then I went from there straight to shoot the great Lillian Hall, where I play a Broadway director with Jessica Lange,
Kathy
and
Bates,
Kathy Bates, Chris Brosnan. So everything was theater themed for a good 18 months. Yeah, I mean, and I'm just hitting the greats. It's really a trip.
No, but when you're actually like on the ground floor with people like Steve Martin and Martin Short, and they themselves are a well-oiled machine, does getting that close to it and being conversational with them actually help what you do? Or would it actually help you to be more apart from them and to just operate the way you normally do and sort of pretend, you know?
Yeah, no, it helped. It helped. It's kind of, you know, there's of course probably going to be, and I don't recall any in this case, but it would be totally natural to have some nervous energy. It's kind of like, I love if I'm playing baseball and I'm playing catch, and then, you know, an absolute great comes out on the field and I get to play catch with them and throw it back and forth. You're a little nervous for those, but then after the 2 throws, now you're really whizzing it back and forth, and you feel electrified. You feel invigorated. You're part of it. It's not about ego or anything like that. It's just, we're doing it. We're plugged in. So yeah, I think it just put a battery in your back in that way. And also to be able to, this is a small, big detail, to be able to just hang with them and chat between takes. Like, so you don't, everything doesn't hang in a balance of one take. Like, oh shit, am I good? Are they judged? Like, if you're relaxed, if they're welcoming, and that is a credit to them. They were all so generous and open. And I think doing a Broadway play helped them see me as their peers. If I'm being honest. So there was that. Yeah, I'm so glad to have done it. I wouldn't want to be at some remove from them.
I have a dream that if I were on set with Meryl Streep, she would just start doing like her Yale type pratfalls and stuff for us, like showing us all her tricks.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just the toolbox.
Yeah. I mean, what is she like on set? But did you sort of glean anything from her?
She's like astonishingly regular. You know, like,
which is so really upsetting. Please just be extraordinary at all times.
There's no diva. She's just, and I mean regular as like humble. Yeah. Just chilling, asking me how to text with her daughter to learn something about, voice. I was telling them I'm a big voice note guy. I voice note all my friends. I don't really text. I just leave a long meandering 3-minute, 37-second voice note that could have been 40 seconds. And I think her daughter was doing that back, or she wanted to write something, and I was like, let's try a voice note because it'll give the context so you don't feel like a meddling mom or whatever it was. So we, you're talking about normal stuff with them. And then having Marty and Steve there just makes everything 10 times funnier than you thought was possible. But yeah, she was really, really chill. And we talked a lot about theater. We had some people in common. So there was, it was pretty wild. It's one thing to meet some of your heroes, but to kind of have common denominators with them is a little bizarre.
Well, if you want to see Jessie Williams in some of the most beautiful vistas you will ever see on television, you must now watch Hotel Costiera, which is on Amazon Prime Video now. Thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. Love the show, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.